stimulus checks, and next Friday's major announcement. This is going to be another very big one that is very influential when it comes down to the distribution and or approval of any type of stimulus going forward right now in 2026. Now, the announcement we're going to be getting next Friday, again, is a very, very influential one simply because the numbers we've been receiving lately and the other corresponding reports that we've been getting over the last several months honestly are not looking that good. And when these don't look good, that's actually very good for stimulus. It's like this inverse relationship. When we get bad information that comes out, that actually makes the likelihood of stimulus to be approved and distributed at some point actually higher and higher and greater. So for those of you out there that want some type of stimulus, this is something we need to watch very closely. And one of these data points that I've been talking about for years, and I've continued to say, this is the number one thing. When it comes down to the approval and or distribution of any type of stimulus going forward, it's these numbers, these data points, these factors that we need to watch very, very closely. Now, first off, drop a comment down below. Do you think we're really going to get this $2,000 stimulus or $2,000 distribution, this $2,000 dividend from the president that he continues to talk about and that he originally floated back in early November of last year, 2025? Drop a comment down below. Just simply yes or no. Do you think we're going to get it? Or do you think it's just a lot of blowing of smoke as in, yeah, you're going to get this thing, and then they find some great reason why they can't actually do it? I don't know. Again, it's still up in the air right now. They continue to say that it's for sure coming. We will see about that, okay? Now, that's one thing. That is basically a profit share of the tariff revenue or the money that has come into this country over the last, year, basically almost a year now, okay? Now, that's that. However, what I'm talking about here in this video is actually somewhat different. What I'm talking about is economic data that we want to watch very, very closely. Now, next Friday, we're going to be getting March labor market data. In other words, the non-farm payroll number, the jobs numbers, which will also encompass the unemployment rate and all the data like that. That's very important. Now, you might be thinking, what does this have to do anything with stimulus or stimulus checks, anything like that? Remember, I've said this a ton of times over the last several years, which is this. Anytime that stimulus is provided, as in on an economic stimulus basis, it's provided because the economy is not doing good, and what they need to juice the economy again is give it a whole bunch of money. And one way that they like to do that is in the form of stimulus checks and, again, all kinds of other stimulus payments that they approve of, okay? Now, the way that they do this is that when the economy is not looking good, lawmakers come in and they approve these massive stimulus packages, stimulus bills. And again, a lot of times they contain stimulus checks within them. It's usually a small portion of the overall spending, but there is some money in there. And it's kind of like a smoke screen where they give us a little bit of money and then they shuffle trillions of dollars off into other places. But the point is this. I've said this a lot of times over the last several years, which is the labor market, the jobs numbers, the unemployment rate, the labor participation rate, all of these factors, which will be released next Friday on the behalf of March's numbers. So these are going to be the March labor market data, okay? When this comes out, very, very important because the last several months here, we've been seeing some really, really bad and negative jobs numbers, as in the unemployment rate has been going higher. We've been seeing just a lot of people getting laid off. The number of jobs that are being created is like pathetically low, like really, really bad low, not signaling a strong economy, okay? Long story short is this, and again, I could go into a lot more detail on this, but long story short is this. The economy's contracting. The economy's slowing down. A lot of people are suggesting we're already in a recession. Again, they're not going to confirm that if we are or if we're not. They're not going to confirm that for probably at least another 4, 5, 6 months at least if we are currently in a recession or not, right? We won't know that for a very long time, but some people are suggesting it's definitely a recession. And again, whether we're currently there or not, or if one is coming, just remember, when it comes down to it, when the economy slows, when the economy contracts, and it also shows very, very vividly in these labor market data points, as in the jobs numbers that are released the first Friday of every month, when we get those data points, that's what we need to continue watching because that gives us the big, broad picture, the big, broad look of the overall economy, okay? If the economy is strong and robust and growing rapidly, are we going to see a increasing unemployment rate? Are we going to see people being laid off left and right? Are we going to see a weak hiring market? No. If the economy was strong, if businesses were strong and flush with cash, like everybody says that they are, and the economy was growing very rapidly, we would see massive expansion. We would see a lot of businesses hiring, we'd see the unemployment rate dropping, and we'd see all of these factors getting better. We're not. We're seeing these getting worse and worse and worse every single month, even with the revisions that are coming in. When we get these monthly reports that come out, we get these revisions. They revise the previous couple months, and they look really bad. They keep revising lower and lower and lower, and again, showing very negative labor market data. Okay, so that's why we need to continue watching these. We can look at all the other data points like the Federal Reserve and the interest rates and inflation, which, by the way, quick little spoiler alert, they don't care about inflation. They don't care. Okay, I've been saying this for years. They don't care about inflation. They act like they do. They don't care about inflation. Why do you think it's still as high as it is? They don't care. They're focused on other things. They're focused on the labor market and improving that, and they're sacrificing inflation as a result. Okay? Anyway, long story short is that when we get into a massive economic contraction, we're not there yet, but we're certainly seeing the signs, right? We're seeing the signs of this massive economic slowdown where it's just not growing to the speed that they want it to be. And because of that, it's contracting. When the economy contracts, when we go into a recession, when we see a major economic contraction, that is when they provide stimulus. Now, this is not the same as the $2,000 dividend, the $2,000 stimulus, the $2,000 distribution that the president has talked about. That is something that's totally separate. That is basically a profit share. From money that the country has brought in, the president wants to redistribute some of that money back to us in the form of a dividend. That's totally different. That is not an economic stimulus like I was just talking about. They stimulate every single recession. Look it up if you don't believe me. Every single recession that we have been in the last, call it 25, 26 years, 2000, 2008, 2009, 2020, 2021, these recessions have all been met by stimulus provided to the people in the form of stimulus checks. They do the same play out of the same playbook every single time because it works. Because it works. Believe it or not, it actually works. Giving people money gets money into the economy very, very quickly, and that's what they need in an economic slowdown, in economic contraction, in economic recession, is they need money in the economy buying goods and services. That's what does it, and they know that it works. That's why they do it. And that's probably, honestly, why the president also wants to send out these $2,000 dividend payments. He knows, just as much as everybody else does, that the economy is not as strong as they want it to be. But if he gave $2,000 payments to a huge percentage of the population, guess what that would do? It would juice the economy like crazy. Yes, he knows that. And then we would have a huge, expansion in the economy because everybody's out there spending their $2,000, right? And we would also see a huge expansion in inflation as well, just like that, okay? Anyway, either way, we need to continue watching these data points. Next Friday, we're going to get the next one. Very important, especially the last handful of numbers here. Going back to the last couple months of last year, and so far this year, these numbers have not looked very good at all. They're weakening, and again, it's only a matter of time until this thing really cracks, and when it does, it's going to get ugly real fast. Anyway, I hope this helps you. I just want to point this out for you really quickly. And again, drop your comment down below. Do you think that we're maybe going to see that $2,000 out of the president? What do you think? Drop a yes or no down below. Otherwise, I'm going to throw this out there really fast as well, which is this. If you happen to be somebody on Medicare, if you're on Medicare, 70 million people out there, if you're experiencing one of these situations that so many other people are experiencing right now, which is can't see your doctor, your prescriptions are way too much. Your offices, your clinics, your hospital systems are no longer in network. Whatever it happens to be, call Chapter right there. Thousands of you in this community have already called them. Right there, phone number. It's 100% for free. A ton of you in this community have already called. Again, I've held up this over the last several months here. All these pages and pages of comments. And again, more and more that I'm getting every single day from those of you in this community. Again, reaching out with your comments after calling them, saving a boatload of money. Those of you in this community, by the way, collectively saving a few $1 million, literally just by calling Chapter right there and getting some help with your Medicare plans. Absolutely amazing. Some of you, about 33 million, about half of the Medicare beneficiaries may still have some flexibility. you may want to call, okay? If you're on Medicare, grab your Medicare card, grab your phone, call Chapter there. It's 100% for free. See what they can do for you. I think you might be shocked with what they can do for you, okay? And again, if they can't help you out, they will absolutely tell you. But if you're somebody on Medicare and you feel like, oh no, this is going to be a really bad year, I can't see my doctor, my hospital systems, my offices, my clinics are no longer in network or covered, call them, see what they can do. You may have some flexibility, okay? You may have some options right now, which a lot of people still do. Anyway, by the way, after you talk to them, drop a comment down below. Use the word chapter within your comment. That's the keyword that I search for. And I'd love to feature you and also add your comment to my very long list here of all these papers and papers of all the comments I pulled out of the comments section just over the last few months from those of you in this community. All right, anyway, please have a nice afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate all of you. Please subscribe if you're new. Share the video. Big share button down below. Again, subscribe button right down below. And again, I look forward to reading your comments after you call Chapter there. Drop a comment. Again, use the word Chapter. Let me know how it goes. How much money did you save? What happened? And I'd love to feature you. And again, continue to feature those comments in future videos. All right, anyway, enjoy your day. Take care. And I look forward to seeing you again soon in the next one.